I am live on Saturday, like I always am. Wrestling Week in Review. So, without further ado, let's get started. I want to keep this video to at least an hour tops. I don't want to make this live stream any longer than it has to be, but it is what it is. Well, let's get started with Monday Night Raw, because that is the show that always starts out the week. We got the opening of the show, saw Bronson Reed entering the arena with I think it was Seth Rollins coming in out of nowhere, attacking him. This was great. This was good. A beatdown segment, to start off the show. Seth Rollins goes to the ring, tells WWE to cut his music. He just says, hey, Bronson Reed, you want your match, you want your 15 minutes of fame, I'll give it to you. I'll give you everything you want, which is a match with me. And so get your ass out here so I can beat you, so I can beat it up. Bronson Reed didn't come out there, but officials were there to stop him. But to be honest, their officials aren't going to do anything. Their security is not going to do anything, because their security is basically just there to take the beating from Bronson Reed and Seth Rollins. Okay, it is what it is. It was a great opening to the show. We got a Raquel Rodriguez promo. I don't know what it is about Raquel Rodriguez, but she has not been herself since coming back. I don't know why, but she just has not been the same. She's a heel, which I think is better for her, and she's clearly better playing a heel. At least that's what I think. I think she's better playing a heel than it is playing a babyface. It's a smiling babyface. She's no longer smiling, which I'm glad about. I'm glad at that. So, but nobody's commented in the live chat so far, but I'm hoping that happens sometime soon. If any of you guys that come into this live stream want to hit that like button, feel free to do so. It is never a requirement, but I always appreciate the likes, no matter what. Hey, I take it how I can get it. And as always, I'm drinking my specialty Powerade. Mixed berry flavor. It was a good promo. It's just that I don't think Raquel has been herself since returning. I'm not really sure why, but that's just the way that it is. After this, we did get a backstage segment with Damage Control. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez would interrupt their interview. This led to a match later on in the show. That wasn't bad at all, actually, but it's just that Raquel, again, like I said, she looked sort of out of place in the match. Don't know why, but it is what it is. We got a promo from the newly returned War Raiders. They're not the Viking Raiders anymore. They are the War Raiders, which is their NXT theme, which is their NXT name. And I'm so glad that they're getting the. I'm so glad they got this, man. They got this to return as their NXT with their NXT name. That was clearly a Triple H move. I didn't see it as anything else. Oh, thank you for that first like. Thank you. Whoever it was, I thank you. Let's see if we can get this to 10. If we can get this to 10 likes before this live stream is over with, that would be amazing. But yes, we got a War Raiders promo. It's great to see them back. It was basic, what I expected, but it was great anyways. We also got a hype video for Braun Breaker and Jey Uso's match, which took place in the main event of the show, as I didn't think it was going to take place any other spot on the show. Then we get Liv Morgan, then we get the tag team match. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez versus Damage Control. This match lasted around 11 minutes, but it wasn't a bad match. It's just that Raquel did not look 100% in that ring. Maybe she should take some more time off. I don't know, but definitely she did not look 100% in that ring. Just saying that now, from what I saw. But obviously, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, they obviously won. Then afterwards, we got Rhea Ripley. She came out, attacked Raquel Rodriguez. Then she set Liv Morgan, attacked Liv Morgan, set her in the Prism Trap submission hold that she uses. And then Dominic tries to get involved. He gets beat up, and then he gets put in the Prism Trap. Prism Trap. If I stumble my words just a little bit today, don't get at me for it. That's just probably like a one-time thing, hopefully. But yeah, we put Dirty Dom in the Prism Trap for a few seconds, but until Liv Morgan was able to get him out of there, and that's how it ended. That's how it ended with the Judgment Day of Raquel Rodriguez, Liv Morgan, and Dirty Dom walking away like scared little puppies. Yeah. At some point, this has to end with Rhea Ripley getting her women's title back. When? I don't know. Maybe it's at the Saturday night's main event show. Who knows? That's basically the last quote-unquote major show they've got planned for this year as far as like the main roster goes. Because I'm pretty sure WWE has Deadline that they're doing in NXT. NXT is going to be doing Deadline again. I'm almost certain. Because the Iron Survivor matches, I've now seen like two of them, and I'm impressed with that concept. It's almost like it's basically an Iron Man match with the added stipulation that once you get pinned, you have to go into like a small little cage, or like a small little like cage, and you have to sit in there for like at least a minute, however long, I can't remember however long it is, and then you can get back in once that time is allotted. Your allotted time is up, so I like it. But when they're gonna have Rhea Ripley finally end this and get her title back, I mean, this feud is all about Rhea getting the title back eventually. It's just that Rhea has to go through, and I was all but certain that they were just gonna give it to her right away, because I felt like there's no way in hell Liv Morgan should even be able to beat Rhea Ripley one-on-one. It's just not possible. But then they had Dirty Dom interfere in the match at SummerSlam, which then made perfect sense once he turned on her. But hey, am I liking this feud? I was, but now I'm just ready for it to end. I'm ready for it to end. I'm ready for Rhea to get the title back because that's obviously where they're going with this. So once it happens, I'll be happy. Once the feud ends, I'll be happy. Then Liv Morgan can go and do something else. We then go backstage and we get another Bronson Reed confrontation with Seth Rollins. They're still attacking each other. Adam Pearce says, okay, you want this match? Okay, you get it. He's done trying to get them to separate. He's going to give them their match, and it's going to be a crown jewel. Seth Rollins versus Bronson Reed. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to give you my prediction right now as to who's going to win that match. Now, I know who should win this match, because you're not just going to keep building this guy up and have him lose, like, ever. But, well, he did sort of lose to Braun Strowman, but he lost via shenanigans via Seth Rollins' return, so he still kept strong. Who I think should win is Bronson Reed, who I know is going to win, who I know is more than likely going to win. Seth Rollins, as if Seth Rollins doesn't know how to elevate talent, because Seth Rollins is in that point in his career right now where I don't know if he needs to win this match. Oh, hey, Aaron, thank you for coming. Or Hunter Sage. Aaron, thank you for coming. Yeah. Who I think should win? Bronson Reed. Who I think will win? Seth Rollins. But it is what it is. And thank you for that like. Thank you for the 3 people that seem to be here, and thank you again. Then we get New Day. New Day versus the Authors of Pain. Ah, cool. Well, I hope you're having fun today. Hope everybody that's here today is having fun. On this nice, for me, windy Saturday. Windy outside. You know, for a split second, I will show you guys what I'm talking about. It's windy today. Oh, that's cool. Well, we got the New Day versus the Authors of Pain, AOP. This is a match that will help determine a number 1 contenders match for the World Tag Team Championships currently held by the Judgment Day. This week we got the New Day versus AOP and Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus American Made. New Day versus AOP. This match lasted about 7 minutes, around 6-7 minutes. New Day actually win due to a distraction by R-Truth, which then allows New Day to capitalize. They celebrate in the ring, but R-Truth immediately gets attacked by AOP in the Final Testaments. But the most important thing here is that Xavier Woods is like trying to get Kofi to leave with him. Like, this isn't our business. Yes, R-Truth is a great guy and all, but is he really our business? No, he's not our business. And Kofi Kingston is just being like, why can't we help him? Like, he's not our business. eventually Xavier Woods has got to turn heel, and once he does, it's probably going to be shocking because you wouldn't think that it would ever happen. Because it's been New Day have said it in numerous interviews before that they will never break up. They will never turn on one another, but that was obviously when Vince McMahon was in power, not Triple H. Now Triple H is willing, and now they must be willing to see, they must be willing to test out a New Day heel turn by at least one of the members. Obviously, it's going to be Xavier Woods, but then again, I don't know. It could just as easily be Kofi Kingston turning heel, but I don't see Kofi turning heel. He just seems like he has natural babyface look that just doesn't allow him to really get booed easily. I just don't think they would boo him even if they tried. But hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Also, in this segment, after this match ended, we got the return of the Wyatt Six. They are officially targeting the final Testaments. Am I excited for this? It would be 50-50. It all depends on the booking. It all depends on the booking of this feud. A Final Testament versus AOP versus the Wyatt Six. So Wyatt Six are a group that have been pushed like hard in their first feud with American Made. Like they didn't win ever, like at all. And then they go ahead and now they're feuding against a group that really hasn't had any momentum, like at all. And you're like, okay, am I supposed to feel like this feud's going to be a big deal when one of the groups is a group that hasn't been beaten and hasn't been booked out to look weak at all since they debuted, and another group that has been booked to look anything but strong. Basically, okay, yeah. Wyatt Six, they've been booked so strong since their debut. Final Testament have been booked the exact opposite. They've been booked weak for months and months. Who's to say that they won't book this feud the same way they booked Wyatt Six versus American Made, with the Wyatt Six basically winning every single match against the Final Testament and making the Final Testament look like losers in the process. American Made have done absolutely nothing since the feud, and they lost from it. And so, hey, am I excited for this match, for this feud? It all depends on the booking and how WWE decides to book this feud. I'm hoping they book this feud strong to have both groups look strong instead of booking just one group to look like the Wyatt Six to look invincible against a team like hey Nate, no, not yet. I haven't had any trolls yet. The only other person to comment in the live chat is Aaron, and he's in a different time zone, apparently. And apparently it's still morning wherever he is. So it is what it is. Am I excited? A little bit, but then again, like I said, it depends on the booking. How are they going to book this year? Are they going to book both Final Testament and Wyatt Six to be booked strong, or are they just going to book the Wyatt Six strong and they're going to book the Final Testament to look like jokes? Yeah, I do. I miss Matt too. But Matt did tell me on that premiere that he did recently that on his keto channel, that he's going to be back sometime, maybe around Crown Jewel is when he'll be back, which I'm hoping, because I do miss Matt. I do miss Matt, and I hope that he comes back soon. We get Carlito, we got Judgment Day, they're backstage. Finn Balor is a little bit pissed off that that a little bit pissed off that that Damian Priest wants another shot at the world title. Obviously, I'm sure Finn Balor would love a shot at the world title before Damian Priest. And then Dominic Mysterio sort of makes a joke, but is not actually joking about, what if I beat Gunther? Carlito starts laughing. Starts laughing. Oh, interesting, but me and Dino Man already do my GM mode on WWE 2K24, my GM mode on his channel, and right now we're about to book WrestleMania, and I got a pretty stacked card for WrestleMania for both NXT and Raw. Yeah, I just don't know when. He hasn't told me when he's thinking of going live, so I'm just gonna wait for him to ask me what day would be. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you definitely helped him out a bit one time, and yeah. So, and then Raquel Rodriguez comes out of nowhere and says, "What the hell do you even do in this group?" Carlito jokingly says, "I bring the cool factor. I bring the cool factor." Well, great, you bring the cool factor. What does that mean? What does that even mean? But hey, it is what it is. Yeah, Zazie Molassie. Yeah. But then Carlito would say, "You know what, I'm gonna go to Adam Pearce and I'm gonna see what I can do by getting you a match against Gunther." Yeah. Actually, her name ends with a Y. Sassy Molassie, not Sassy Molasses. Then we get Rey Mysterio. Yeah, that's how it's spelled. Then we get Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee versus American Made. This is the match for a number one contenders match. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee did win this match. So at the moment, I think it's supposed to be like a fatal four-way match. Fatal four-way number one contenders match. I can't remember what the fourth team is, but we know it's Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee, New Day, and New Day, the War Raiders, and some other team that I can't remember who they are. I can't remember who else. Here, let me just click for a second because I am subscribed to a YouTube channel called Scary Movie. Well, it is Friday. It is Halloween season, so hey. Probably not. I mean, I've seen a lot of scary movies, so yeah, Alpha Academy versus War Raiders. Who else were they? Who else was in this? I'm guessing that was it. I'm guessing that's it, actually. That was it, actually. The number one contenders match. I'm guessing it is just the War Raiders. Okay. I actually probably would not know what that is. I actually probably wouldn't know what that is, but hey, it's okay. So yeah, it looks like it is just War Raiders, Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee, LWO, and the New Day. Who wins that match? I'm going with the War Raiders simply because they just returned, and it would make no sense for them to lose on only their second match back from injury. So, and as far as whether or not they actually beat the Judgment Day. That's going to be interesting to see because we all know of the numbers game playing a factor potentially into them potentially losing. But then again, I don't know. I don't know what happened. But hey, we got Damian Priest and Gunther backstage segment. Gunther was being interviewed. Damian Priest came in, told Gunther, "Hey, I want a shot at that title again, but I'm willing to earn that shot. I'm willing to earn that shot, my shot at the title." And Gunther basically said, "Okay, okay, I appreciate that. I appreciate you wanting to earn your shot at the title." So I'm guessing he's going to be facing Giovanni Vinci at some point. I mean, he's going to be facing Ludwig Kaiser at some point. I'm not quite sure who you're talking about, Henry, but whoever he is, probably not. Then we get, obviously, Carlito backstage with Adam Pearce. Also, Damage Control was backstage. When Carlito comes in, he said, "Oh, I think I gotta start learning Chinese." Now, that one comment apparently got a whole lot of people upset. Apparently, I don't know why, but apparently some people were really upset about that line. They thought it was insensitive and whatnot. I don't know if it was insensitive, but I don't know. It's like, really, people were saying that he was being insensitive, and I wouldn't be surprised if he actually was. But then again, hey, doesn't really matter. He asked Adam Pearce for Dominic to have a match against Gunther, and like I did, like I obviously did when I saw this segment, and then Adam Pearce laughed because he thought it was a joke that Dominic actually wanted a match against Gunther. And obviously Dominic's going to play up this heel character like, yeah, I want it. I can beat him. Like, when we all know what's going to happen if it does happen. And it's not going to happen. because Adam Pearce made it pretty clear. No, that's not. No, we won't. Also, but Adam Pearce did tell Carlito to tell Dominic that if he can beat a former World Heavyweight Champion, then yes, he can get a match against Gunther. I don't have to be a rocket scientist. I don't think I have to be a rocket scientist to tell you exactly who this former World Heavyweight Championship is. It's obviously going to be Damian Priest. Well, I just block him or whatever you have to do to just, yeah, don't listen to him. But Dominic Mysterio will have a match next week against a former world champion. It is obviously going to be Damian Priest. And Damian Priest is going to squash him. So it is what it is, and that's should be fun. Just to see Damian get some payback on Dom. So we get the main event, Jey Uso versus Gunther versus Braun Breaker for the IC title. Match went about 16 minutes, and it was great. Obviously, I thought Jey was going to lose this match, and I knew he was going to lose this match. And also, what I also knew was going to happen did happen. Bloodline showed up to cost, not necessarily to cost Jey Uso the match at first. Well, apparently with what Solo said, basically to Jey, "We're here to help you." Jay's like, "No, I don't want your help, okay? Go. I don't need your help. I don't want your help but inadvertently they cost them the match anyways. And Braun Breaker wins the title back. I knew this was happening, and as we saw last night, Jay did not let that go unpunished, go unnoticed. Oh yeah, the Uso Penitentiary is back and open for business. Is back open for business. Is open again for business. Target, the New Bloodline versus the new Target, the New Bloodline. The Usos are back. We saw them reunite last week, yesterday. But this was a great episode of Monday Night Raw. I would say this is the best 2-hour Monday Night Raw we've gotten so far. If I were to rate this episode, I would rate it a 8 out of 10 because it was really that good. Hey, thanks, Danny. Appreciate it. Tuesday, NXT. Oh, and Danny, no, he's not booking WWE. Triple H is clearly doing that. Tuesday, NXT. Oh, and Danny, I don't know if you know this, but a certain female talent in NXT has recently returned, and I'm pretty sure you're a fan of hers. Nikita Lyons is back. Last week, she had a match against Lola Vice, and she won, which I'm happy for because I like Nikita Lyons. The opening of the show saw OTM and Hank Walker and Tank Ledger arguing outside the arena. Nikita Lyons, she's an NXT superstar who debuted in late 2021, 2022 during the NXT 2.0 era. She was in the Breakout Women's Tournament that year, yet had to withdraw from the tournament due to injuries. And I think she was going to be in the finals against Roxanne, but then we got Tiffany Stratton in the finals against Roxanne Perez. And she's been great from what I've seen, but she has gotten injured on a few occasions. So she got injured on a few occasions, at least 2, maybe 3 times. But she's good, and I'm hoping she's back for good this time and that she's actually healed. And because I like her, and I like her sort of martial arts-like style. But the opening saw OTM and Hank Walker and Tank Ledger arguing outside. Also, with Hank and Tank was NASCAR Xfinity Series driver Cole Custer, who is, I think, in the playoffs this year. I don't watch the Xfinity Series, so I don't even know. I mean, I know one guy that's in the Xfinity Series right now, and that's Shane Van Gisbergen, who's going to be moving up to the Cup level full-time next year. Excited about that because I didn't even know him when he had that surprise win in Chicago and that Chicago street race, but now I'm starting to become a fan of his. But yeah, Cole Custer was there. He was there in support of Hank and Walker and Tank Ledger. They would have a match later on in the show. But the opening match was Damage Control versus Lash Legend. And Lash Legend Dakara Jackson versus Damage Control. Match lasted about 10 minutes, but the match ended in DQ after Chelsea Green and Piper Niven got involved. Obviously, Lash and Jakara have been on the main roster a few times within the past week, and they've been getting into it with Piper and Chelsea, so it almost made sense that they would want to get involved in this match and perhaps get some sort of payback on the Metal 4 members. The match was really good, actually, but the match ended in DQ. That's what it is. We got Javon Evans and was backstage with Nathan Frazier and Axiom. I think Javon Evans was with Cedric Alexander. They were backstage with Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Nathan Frazier and Javon Evans apparently got into a war of words. I'm guessing this will lead to a match, which I'm somewhat excited about because I do like both guys. So that should be a good match. If this leads to a match between the two of them, that would be good because I like both guys. Thank you all for the 3 likes. I do appreciate it. Then we go and we get backstage. Ariana Rizzo of the D'Angelo family. She is on the floor in pain. Apparently, she was attacked. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to know who did it, and more than likely, I would say that it's Obafemi. He's trying to, at the very least, make sure that Tony D'Angelo doesn't have any family members at ringside to be able to help him in his match tomorrow night. Now, for those of you who don't know, tonight is apparently TNA's Bound for Glory pay-per-view. I'll be checking in on that every now and then, maybe, but I'm not going to be like watching it. Because the main event's Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth for the TNA World title. That's going to be great, I'm sure. We got like Josh Alexander versus Steve Macklin. Jordan Grace versus Masha Slamovich for the Knockouts title. We got like a Full Metal Mayhem triple threat tag team match for the tag team titles. ABC versus the Parties versus, I guess, the System. I can't remember. Yeah, versus the System. Eddie Edwards and the other guy. But tomorrow, starting at 6, with the pre-show starting at 6, it is NXT Halloween Havoc. I'll be watching that on Peacock. It'll probably end at 10 o'clock. So I'll be watching it on Peacock. And it should be a good show. It should be a great show. We got Obafemi versus Tony D'Angelo in a tables, ladders, and scares match for the North American title. Devil's Playground match between Trick Williams and Ethan Page for the NXT title. Stephanie Vaquer and Julia versus NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. In the match, we got the NXT Women's North American title up for grabs. Kalani Jordan will face a member of the Fatal Influence. I don't know which member yet. I don't think we've been told who the member of Fatal Influence will be represented in that match, but we will probably see that the day of the show. And I can't remember what other matches they had planned for this show. I don't even think they have a tag team title match, a men's tag team title match on the show. But we also got Ridge Holland. And also on this show, we got confirmation from Andre Chase. He wants Ridge Holland in an ambulance match. That should be good. Because I've seen some ambulance matches before. I even saw an ambulance match at 2022's Halloween Havoc between Julius Creed and Damon Kemp, and that was good. I've seen Shane McMahon versus Kane ambulance match. I've seen last night, for the first time, I saw the WWE 2013 Payback pay-per-view, which was apparently the very first. And I saw the 3 Stages of Hell main event, which was And the third fall was an ambulance match between John Cena and Ryback. That was good. I've seen Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton in an ambulance match, and I've seen Braun Strowman versus Roman Reigns in an ambulance match at the Great Balls of Fire 2017 show. All the ambulance matches I've seen have been good, so this one shouldn't be any different. Hopefully it's no different from any of the others I've seen. But yeah. Then we go and we get Oba Femi in a match that was made official last week. Luca Crucifino last week stepped up for Tony D, said, I want to take on Oba Femi, send a message to him. But this match was all about Oba Femi sending a message to Tony D'Angelo. And Oba Femi did beat Luca Crucifino, but I didn't expect it. I expected it to be more of a squash match, and this match lasted about 6 minutes, which was a bit surprising. I didn't think it was going to be that long. But Luca got in some offense. Obviously, he was never going to win, but I just expected it to be more of a squash. But it wasn't, which is, I guess, is okay. Oba Femi won. He took out Luca. Then Oba Femi would take out Oba and Stacks, all while having Tony D'Angelo tied up on the ring post, so that way he couldn't get involved in this beatdown that Oba was doing to the rest of the D'Angelo family. I'm guessing he just wants to make sure that no one can interfere in his match with Tony D on Sunday. And he obviously did that, so anyway, afterwards we got a message from Tony D'Angelo. He sent a message to Oba, and it was great. We got Jada Parker versus Tatum Baxley. This match lasted no more than 4 minutes and 30 seconds. Lasted no more than 4 minutes, 30 seconds. Tatum Baxley won this match. Jada Parker won this match. I'm guessing her problems with Lola Rice aren't exactly over with, because Lola tried to come out there and get some after the match, but Jada was like, nah, I don't think I want to get involved with you right now. I just won the match. I don't want to exert any more energy. We got Trick Williams and Ethan Page. They went face-to-face before their match at Halloween Havoc. This was great. They basically just talked up their match, and it was great. It is what it is. It was what it was. Obviously we got a Ridge Holland promo. He wants to continue what he started, which is destroying Chase University. Then we got the Andre Chase promo, where Andre Chase decided to challenge Ridge Holland to a match in an ambulance match. Now, who wins that match? I actually don't know. I know who's winning the Trick Williams Ethan Page match, and that's Trick Williams. I do believe Tony D'Angelo will win. I do believe the babyface team of Stephanie Vaquer and Julia will win, although who knows. We got the women's North American title match. I don't even know who's going to be involved in that match when it comes to the Fatal Influence side of things. So I don't know who's going to win that match. Mainly because we don't know who's facing Kalani Jordan yet. But I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Kalani Jordan wins. We also get Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade backstage. They're talking up their match at Crown Halloween Havoc. They say they've been running this division for years, and then Fatal Influence comes in. Basically, they say, yeah, we'll give you whatever's left of, and we'll let you have whatever's left of Julia and Stephanie Vicker after we're done with them. We got Sol Ruka versus Carmen Petrovic. This match lasted about four minutes. Don't know what I feel about that, but hey, Sol Ruka wins. Didn't see that happening any other way. We also got the co-main event, which was OTM, the next to last match on the card. Next segment, we got OTM versus Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. This match lasted about 4 minutes as well. And Hank Walker and Tank Ledger actually did win the match after Cole Custer would run some slight interference on OTM. Don't know what I think about that. I don't know what I feel right now about Hank Walker and Tank Ledger. They're okay, I guess. They've gotten some wins. It's going to take me a while, I'm guessing, to get used to them and take me some time to like them. Then we got the main event, Julia and Stephanie Vicker versus Fatal Influence. They win the match. Julia and Stephanie obviously won the match. 13 minutes, not bad. It wasn't a bad match. 13 minutes. And Fatal Influence went to spin the wheel to determine what the match type was going to be for Fatal Influence, for whichever Fatal Influence member faced off against Kelani Jordan. The lights go black, and then obviously Delta apparently debuts for a few seconds, then the show just fades to black. And then we go right into a commercial and right into the next show, which was Seinfeld. So, but Delta's name has been changed apparently to Zarya, which I'm not sure how I feel about that because I just don't know her at all. But hopefully she's good. And obviously I'll be able to watch her because I'll be watching NXT every Tuesday on the CW. I'm so glad I'm finally able to watch NXT because I've kind of been wanting to watch NXT for a while, but I really have only watched one actual episode of NXT. When that was the spring break-in, this year's spring break-in, both nights. I've seen both nights of spring break-in for this year. But hey, she should be good. Halloween Havoc should be good. This was a good episode of NXT. If I had to rate it, a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It was a good show. Was what it was. Nothing special, but consistently good. Then we get AEW Dynamite. We got AEW Dynamite. Was it a bad show this week? A little bit, but it wasn't like bad. Wasn't as bad as the Title Tuesday show we got that was horrendous. But it's still not what it needs to be. And I'm sorry, but Tony Khan just needs to step away from creative. Or at the very least, take a step back and let somebody else do the show. Like if the Jon Moxley storyline is leading to a Shane McMahon debut in AEW, then Shane McMahon should be the one to write the show. I feel like Shane McMahon would be a breath of fresh air. Obviously, he would generate buzz for AEW because he's a McMahon. Having a McMahon in AEW would be huge news. Regardless. Mainly because he's a McMahon. You would automatically associate him with WWE, not the competition. So I think that would be huge. And the fact that Bryan Danielson is already there, and the fact that we did get Bryan Danielson and Shane McMahon running SmackDown for a few years, 2016, 2017, and even in 2018, in the first part of 2018 before he returned, I'd say it would make perfect sense just to put them together and just have them run the show. with the Elite's help, I'm guessing. Who knows? Who knows what they got planned? But I feel like Tony Khan needs to take a little bit of a step back from creative, because what we're getting is not doing me, it's not getting me to want to watch the show any more than I already am. Like I am Cole opening the show. He wants a match with MJF. Then all of a sudden, the Undisputed Kingdom decided to interrupt, and apparently, Undisputed Kingdom also won a shot at, and also Roderick Strong apparently wants a shot at MJF. Now, MJF isn't there, but he appears on screen, on a big screen from somewhere, getting a massage from a beautiful woman, and says, "You're not going to get what you want. Both of you are not going to get what you want, but I'll I'll just say this much. Whoever whoever is able to get to 3 consecutive wins in a row, that's the person that gets a shot at me." So, and apparently next week they're doing a Fright Night show, which is, I'm guessing, and I guess next week on Wednesday night it'll be the day before Halloween. So we got Swerve Strickland and Shelton Benjamin on that show, which I'm actually predicting that Bobby Lashley is going to debut on that show. We got Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin. That should be a great match. We've already gotten 2 great matches out of Shelton Benjamin already. Shelton versus Leo Rush last week. And then Shelton Benjamin this week versus Sammy Guevara, which was the first match on the show. The opening of the show wasn't actually Adam Cole's opener. It was the AEW locker room outside the arena, armed with weapons, anticipating Jon Moxley coming to the arena, which didn't really necessarily help. They took out, because at one point they took out Chuck Taylor, who already this year had to retire due to an injury he sustained in a match with Trent Beretta. I have no idea where he is, but I thought he was with the Don Callis family. I'm guessing not. Like, where's that? Where's Trent Beretta? But yeah, and then the first match of the night was Shelton Benjamin versus Sammy Guevara. Lasted about 10 minutes, and it was a good match, actually. Pretty decent match between both of them. Shelton obviously gets the win. He is the new superstar in AEW. He has to get at least 2 wins. His first 2 matches have to be a win for him to establish himself. But hey, it was a good match. Next week, we're getting Shelton Benjamin versus Swerve Strickland. Who wins that match? I'm not going to be a bit surprised if they have Shelton win, with help from maybe Bobby Lashley making a AEW debut, which I'm already predicting for that show. We also got a segment with Hangman and Page calling out the Elite, calling out the Bang Bang Gang. Jay White does come out, along with Juice Robinson and the other members of Bang Bang Gang, the Austin Boys, Colton and Austin Gunn. I'm guessing this feud isn't over yet, but it is what it is. It was a great promo from Hangman, and I liked their match at Wrestle Dream. But this should be a good match, whoever he decides to face next. This has been a good feud. Nothing special, but it's been good. We got Mark Briscoe and Chris Jericho. Oh, I would say that for sure. Perez the Investor. It was definitely lit last night. Especially when the Motor City Machine Guns won the tag team titles. And even when the Usos decided to reunite for the first time since 2023. Since 2023. We got Mark Briscoe and Chris Jericho. in a ladder match for the Ring of Honor World Championship, and this was not needed. This was not needed. Why? I know Mark Briscoe is consistently on AEW. No, and I would like to not see spoilers, just in case. Why are we still getting Ring of Honor titles on AEW television? I know that Mark Briscoe has been on AEW a lot as Ring of Honor World Champion, but why do we need to keep seeing Ring of Honor titles on AEW television? I mean, we haven't seen any other Ring of Honor titles on AEW television as of late. Just the Ring of Honor World title because it's being held by Mark Briscoe. But why are we seeing? We have yet to see Athena not once in AEW since she became AEW Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. Maybe only like once or twice. She has been holding that title. As much as I like Athena, I think I want her to just drop the title, get back over to AEW where she belongs. I think she needs to be in a part of that women's division. But this was not needed. Not needed. And Chris Jericho even won the match, which even further confused me. Like, why is Chris Jericho doing this? It's like Chris Jericho doesn't even care that he's actively destroying AEW by putting himself in these type of matches and putting himself into these situations where he's winning titles that he doesn't need to win. And he's like Chris Jericho. Every time someone gets into a feud with Chris Jericho on AEW television, it doesn't end well for that superstar, and that superstar ends up looking worse than they did before they feuded with him. Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston. I mean, MJF is the only one that was already made and didn't even matter how he came out after, how he looked coming out of this feud with Chris Jericho, because he was a heel, and he just got right back on that horse and got right back to doing what he was doing before he feuded with Chris Jericho, just being a heel and a prick. But most of, if not all of Chris Jericho's feuds ended the exact same way, with the person feuding with him looking worse than they did going into the feud. Hook, I mean, what was the feud with Hook even about? It did both men no favors. And I'm so glad that they finally were willing to drop the FTW title and retire it, because it just made no sense. It made no sense to keep it, just because it was nice when they debuted it, but eventually the charm just wore off, and it had to be retired, and I'm glad it did get retired. But Chris Jericho won about 14 minutes. Is what it is. It was stupid of a match. Didn't need to happen, and I'm going. And I just hope we don't. I don't know what's going to happen next. You got a segment with Don Callis, Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher talked about turning on his best friend Will Ospreay. At one point, Don Callis even gave Kyle Fletcher a pair of clippers to shave his head. And while as he was doing it, Kyle Fletcher was just saying the same thing over and over again. I am nothing like you. I am nothing like you. I thought this was great. And Kyle Fletcher shaving his head. I don't know if his hair would grow back eventually, but I think I'm interested in seeing what a bald Kyle Fletcher looks like. But he didn't actually shave his entire hair. He just shaved all the front, but seemed to leave the back part intact. I don't know what he's gonna look like next week. But that was great. Then we got Brian Cage and Lance Archer, who are now a part of the Don Callis family, against local talent. Apparently, I didn't know who they were, so that should tell you right there how good this match was. Squash 3-minute match was what it was. Nothing special. We got the House of Black also in a squash match against local talent. 4 minutes, and yeah, you tell me why AEW is failing right now. If you can give me a good reason as to why AEW is not failing, then I'll then I won't say anything, have anything else to say. But yeah, a squash match with Brian Cage and Lance Archer against local talent, and then another squash match against local talent with House of Black. Tell me AEW isn't failing. Hook, he was there. He had seen the footage of who attacked his father, Taz, and wanted to come out to the ring and confront the people who were responsible for it, and apparently it was the patriarchy, which makes perfect sense if you think about it. But this feud with Christian Cage and the patriarchy should actually be good, because Christian Cage is a great heel. Arguably the number 2 heel in AEW. Close second, obviously, to MJF. But he's one of the best things about AEW. We got Camille in a match against Queen Aminata. This was, I guess, a warm-up for Mercedes Moné's match against Chris Statlander. Camille and Queen Aminata, 3 minutes squash match is what it is. Nothing special. And that's just it. Nothing special. Nothing special. Just matches. Just matches. Nothing special. And that's ultimately what AEW is missing. That's something special that makes us want to watch. But apparently that's not possible anymore. Because apparently that is just not possible. But it is what it is. But we'll see. We also got the main event, the Elite of Young Bucks and Jack Perry versus Private Party, Daniel Garcia. Private Party and Daniel Garcia actually do win this match. They ask for a title match against the Elite. Young Bucks are like, no, you don't deserve a match against us. But then Private Party gives them an ultimatum and something that they feel like the Young Bucks would be a fool to not listen to. And that is, if Private Party loses, then Private Party disbands forever, and we don't get them as a tag team anymore. Now, whether that leads to Private Party actually winning the match, don't know. I could just as easily see the Young Bucks winning and then having Private Party split, which will ultimately do the tag team division no favors at all, because they're a good tag team from what I have seen out of them. And splitting them up would seem like a stupid decision. So unless this rematch is to get the titles on Private Party, then this match would have been another useless title match, with the cowardly heels walking away with their titles. This is, I'm just gonna say it, bullshit. Sorry, but it is what it is. Wasn't a good show? No. Was it a bad show? A little bit, but it was at least good in some areas. So I will give it a 6 out of 10 because it was decent. That's all it was decent. Then Friday Night SmackDown. Friday Night SmackDown, the opener, we saw Randy Orton. Randy Orton wants to get his hands on Kevin Owens, but Randy Orton has been said a few times now that the answer is no, it won't happen. It's coming from higher above Nick Aldis's pay grade, I guess. But it is what it is. Triple H came out. They talked back and forth. Triple H basically then eventually told Randy Orton, okay, if this is what you really want, okay, I'll give it to you. Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton at Crown Jewel. Now, Carmelo, and after this, we got the Game 7 matchup. Carmelo Hayes versus Andrade El Idolo with LA Knight as the special guest referee. And I'm going to tell you this right now. This match was not what I expected it to be. I expected it to be a great match. And what it turned into was LA Knight reminding these two jokers of why he's the U.S. champion. And he eventually just laid out both competitors with BFTs. And the match was nothing like I thought it was going to be. What I'm thinking is that LA Knight should not have been the referee for this match, and they should have just had a standard match with the standard referee. And even LA Knight himself, after this match, we got a backstage segment with Nick Aldis and LA Knight, and LA Knight even tells Nick Aldis, look, I told you that this was a bad idea. This was probably a bad idea. And yeah, I mean, it was a losing situation anyways because LA Knight dislikes both of them, so it made little sense who he would favor. Obviously, he hates both of them, so it's like, okay, who does he favor, one or the other? Yeah. Whatever. But it is what it is. Then backstage, we get Nia Jax and Tiffany Stratton. Nia Jax wants Naomi handled. Tiffany Stratton is like, oh, I'll do it. And Nia's like, I don't know. Candice LeRae was actually there for me last week, and she was able to get the win for our team, and she pinned Bayley, which is something you have yet to do. And I think that, and so we get Candice LeRae versus Naomi. Obviously, we got the LA Knight Nick Aldis segment after the match between Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. And Nick Aldis told LA Knight that because of what you did in this match, then I'm just going to make a triple threat match official for Crown Jewel for the United States title. Andrade versus Carmelo Hayes versus LA Knight. So, and it looks like we're getting 6 matches actually on this PLE, which is surprising because I know that for many of the somewhat smaller PLEs, we've been getting just 5 matches per show. Then we get Naomi versus Candice LeRae. This match lasted about 9 minutes. It was pretty darn good actually, and it wasn't that bad. But and Naomi, though, actually won the match. Didn't actually expect her to win the match. Indy Hartwell did at one point try to get involved in the match, but Bayley came out for the save. So it is what it is. Good match between the two. Then we get a recap of what happened last week. On last week's Friday Night SmackDown between Jey Uso and the Bloodline. We got Nick Aldis. Then we get Nick Aldis again backstage segment with Nick Aldis. He is with Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. He is announcing a fatal 4-way match for the women's tag team titles at Crown Jewel. It will be Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson versus Chelsea Green and Piper Niven versus Damage Control. So that should be a good match. As far as who wins that match, I'm going to give my early prediction of Damage Control. Maybe this leads to the split. I don't know when they're gonna have the split happen and who's gonna split who with who. Whether Jade Cargill's gonna be the one to turn heel or Bianca Belair, but it should be interesting to say the least. It should be an interesting match, but we'll see what happens. We obviously got the Gunther Cody Rhodes face-to-face segment, hyping up their match at Crown Jewel. Gunther talked to Cody Rhodes about being less dramatic in his making things more, wanted Cody Rhodes to stop always making things more dramatic than they have to be. Cody's like, do you know my family? Do you even know who my family is? Yeah, if you know my family, then you should know damn well we're going to be dramatic, whether you like it or not. But it was what it was. Great promo. They then got he said to Randy Orton making the save for Cody Rhodes. But yeah, I think we're going to get Randy Orton turning on Cody Rhodes eventually as well. That's just how I see that happening. Then we get the quote-unquote main event match, Motor City Machine Guns versus DIY for the number one contenders match. Match went about 11 minutes. Great match. Motor City Machine Guns do win, which I thought was going to happen anyways. Then we get Motor City Machine Guns. Then we see the Bloodline come into the ring. They say, congratulations, Motor City Machine Guns. You got a chance to lose to us. Bloodline wanted the match to happen that night. Motor City Machine Guns decided, okay, if you want this match, okay, let's get it. Match happens, lasts about 5 minutes, but those 5 minutes were the most important because in that match we got the return of Jimmy Uso and Roman Reigns to cost at least Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu the opportunity to screw the Motor City Machine Guns. And then as soon as it looks like Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa are going to get them some of the tag team of the Motor City Machine Guns, Jey Uso comes for the save. Jey Uso takes out the Bloodline, the rest of the Bloodline. Motor City Machine Guns do win the titles. The show ends with the Usos hugging it out and reuniting. But the most important thing is Roman Reigns on the entrance ramp with a face that's like, I don't know how I feel about this. And obviously, the reconciliation of the Usos is what people wanted to see more. But what we need to see is the reconciliation between Roman Reigns and Jey Uso. Because we all know how Jey feels about Jimmy. We all know how Jey feels about Roman, but that's the more important reconciliations moment that we're going to need. Because obviously, Roman Reigns probably still feels like Jey betrayed them, the original Bloodline, and Jey feels like Roman betrayed him, betrayed his trust. So I'm so excited for that. SmackDown was a great show from what I saw. It rated a 7.5 out of 10. Is what it is. It was a great show. And that is it. That's it for my live stream. I hope you guys do well for the rest of today. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. And peace.